record in the matter of the City of Wyandotte versus Kamari Diepenhorst, 24924.
Ready, Your Honor, Neil LeBoy here on behalf of Kamari Diepenhorst. This is date and time set for an arraignment. Mr. Diepenhorst, can you state your name for the record?
Kamari Diepenhorst.
Okay. And so, counsel, as to the arraignment.
As to the arraignment, my client waives the formal reading and stands mute to the charge.
Court will waive the formal reading, enter plea of not guilty for purposes of the arraignment. We'll schedule this matter for pre-trial July 6th, no, where are we on? July 17th.
17th at 9:45.
July 17th at 9:45 a.m. Reverting to a Tuesday, not good. All right, counsel, as to bond.
As to bond, Ms. Diepenhorst advises that she's been residing at the same residence for at least the last 4 years. She is employed with a company, I believe it's called, which is from home work. She advises she's not on probation or parole anywhere, and she always appears if and when a court requires her to. She's never missed any court dates. Beyond that, it's not a crime of violence. She's public intoxication. Conceivably, it's a danger to the public. She wasn't driving an automobile. She was simply walking. Allegedly, her alcohol level was considerably high, if that's accurate, but she was simply walking home. So I don't think she's a danger to the public. I think that personal bond would be appropriate under the circumstances.
Okay, and so ma'am, what happened with your matter in Lincoln Park last July? Did that ever get taken care of?
I'm sorry?
I'm sure that there was a warrant requested for a felony assault matter, July 18th of 2023. What happened with that?
The judge dropped the charges. He put me on a personal bond for 3 months, and I abided by the conditions and returned to the court, and he dropped the charges.
Okay, well, the judge doesn't drop the charges. The judge may dismiss the matter, but is it because you're here or what happened?
He just, I had never been in any trouble before. I was gainfully employed. He felt that I wasn't a danger, that the situation that happened to be charged with that, it was a simple, misunderstanding. So he felt that I wasn't a danger, so he dismissed it, but he just said I had to not get in trouble for 3 months, and I returned, and he dismissed the case.
And that was Lincoln Park Court or Allen Park?
I'm sorry?
Was that the Allen Park Court or the Lincoln Park Court?
It was the Lincoln Park Court.
Okay, and so you also had another felony assaultive matter in 2019 on Christmas out of Allen Park.
The witness dismissed the charges themselves because they felt that they were the ones who assaulted me. And we were in a domestic dispute. That was my ex-husband, and he showed up to court and dismissed the charges and apologized and said it was his fault, not mine.
Okay. Well, ma'am, the allegation in this matter is a .333 level. That's pretty significant. Where is it you work?
I work from home for an insurance company.
Well, here's what the court's going to do. The court has some serious concerns for the safety of yourself and the safety of the public. Well, I understand that you were not operating a motor vehicle. There are some serious concerns for your safety. So what the court's going to do is the court's going to order a $7,500 personal bond. You're not to be released without alcohol test in the Wayne County Jail. Not to possess and consume the alcohol or drugs that are not prescribed. Anything else?
Nothing further from me.
Anything else, ma'am? Kamari, anything else?
No, nothing else.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let's go
Thank you.
off the record.
Okay. Go! Will you hand me my scream box? Now go. Freak.
All right, let's go on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan was Torrey Hall, 24925. And detective, your name for the record, please.
Detective Matthew Lyles, MattheWLYLES, badge number 62.
All right, thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony about to give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
I think you may proceed on the warrant.
Your Honor, I'll be reading from the investigator's report. On Saturday, July 6, 2024, approximately 2:23 a.m., Officer Schramm was in a patrol vehicle that was fully marked, traveling southbound on 4th Street, approaching Pennsylvania Road, which is, for clarification, on the border of the city of Riverview and city of Southgate. Officer Schramm observed a gray Nissan Sentra with license plate D facing southbound on 4th Street at Pennsylvania Road, stopped at the red light. Officer Schramm then observed the Nissan disobey a no turn on red sign and turn right to travel westbound on Pennsylvania Road. Officer Schramm activated his emergency equipment on the patrol vehicle and performed a traffic stop. This traffic stop occurred at the Penn Station car wash at the city of Southgate. Officer Schramm approached the driver's side of the Nissan and asked the driver for her license, proof of insurance, and registration. The driver identified herself as defendant Torrey Hall, who's standing to my left. He identified her via her Michigan driver's license. Officer Schramm could smell an odor of intoxicants coming from Hall's person and observed that she had watery eyes and glossy eyes, which is indicative with the use of intoxicants. Officer Schramm asked Hall if she could recite the alphabet without singing or stopping. Hall did so without any issue and completed the test successfully. Officer Schramm then asked Hall to step out of the vehicle to perform further tests. Ms. Hall refused to exit the vehicle. Officer Miller attempted to extract Ms. Hall from the vehicle by rolling her window down and unlocking the vehicle from the inside. Ms. Hall then put the vehicle in drive and fled from officers. Officer Schramm pursued Ms. Hall and patrol vehicle 14-2 with his emergency lights and sirens activated, which is in accordance with the elements for flee and elude of the lights and sirens being activated during the pursuit. The pursuit traveled westbound on Pennsylvania Road. Ms. Hall did not exceed 35 miles an hour during the pursuit. And during the pursuit, she did eventually stop her vehicle while she was on 911 with Downriver Central after they repeatedly explained to her to pull the vehicle over. Ms. Hall was extracted from the vehicle. She did not get out willingly. She was then placed under arrest. She did resist while being placed under arrest, but was ultimately handcuffed. She was then placed in the 14-2 and transported to the station. A search warrant, she was read her chemical test rights. She admitted to drinking a beer during the test rights, and she declined to take the test. A search warrant was signed by Judge Mullins in the 28th District Court, and that blood draw was conducted at Trenton Hospital, and the results are pending with the Michigan State Police. That is all I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Upon examination of the complaining witness, I find that the offenses charged were committed and that there's probable cause to believe that the defendant committed those offenses. And counsel, your appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Neil DeBlois, P36827 here, appearing on behalf of Torrey Hall.
All right, and Tori, your name for the record, please.
Torrey Hall?
All right, counsel, as to the arraignment.
The client waives the formal reading of the complaint, stands mute to the charges.
All right, the court will waive the formal reading. Tori, you have the following rights. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you. And in fact, you've had an opportunity to speak to an attorney today, correct?
Yes.
You also have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, the court's going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. We're going to schedule this matter for probable cause conference on July 18th
9:45.
at 9:45 a.m. And counsel as to bond.
As the bond, my client advises that she's not on probation or parole anywhere. She's been living in the same residence in Brownstown for approximately the last 10 years, where her children live with her that she supports. She's been gainfully employed for a long time in the medical field. She's currently working in reception for a doctor and starts a new job on Thursday with Pure. I think is the name of it. Her new employer. Again, based on this, she tells me that she's never failed to appear for court. It doesn't appear to me that she has any convictions, although there's some things on her record that don't appear to be convictions. I don't hold that to be 100% correct. However, I don't believe she's a danger. I think she will appear when she's supposed to. We'd be requesting a personal bond in this matter.
All right, well, it appears though there may have been the conviction in 33rd was probably, it looks as though it was dismissed under deferred sentence.
I think that's what I see.
I don't know what happened up in Frankenmuth. Ma'am, did the witness not appear, or did you successfully complete probation, or what happened with that?
I just successfully completed everything, and then they told me that if I just did everything, that it would not be on there.
The one from Frankenmuth?
No, that was from Brownstown. The one from Frankenmuth, there was never any charges.
No, there were charges. It shows.
Well, they never pressed. I guess they dismissed them because I never had to do anything after that. They dismissed the charges.
All right, and so how old are your children?
10 and 6.
And where is it you work?
Right now I work in Dearborn for Dr. Pavani Kohli on Michigan Ave, but Thursday I'm starting a new job at Premier Neurology in Payne in Southgate.
Have you ever failed to appear in court before, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
And are you on probation or parole anywhere?
No, Your Honor.
Are you out on bond in any other jurisdiction?
No.
Detective, as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Hall, CCH, I mean, she does have a violent crime history. I understand the cases were dismissed. However, I know the court is well aware that generally speaking, a case can be dismissed just due to a victim not cooperating. It doesn't mean the defendant didn't commit the crime. I do think that should be taken into consideration. Additionally, Ms. Hall fled from the officers, and I do think that there's a concern for the safety of the public. Anytime a pursuit is activated, there is, a risk to the public. Obviously, what's occurred in Warren PD recently with a fatal crash from a pursuit. And on top of that, Ms. Hall was on her phone, so I find it hard to believe that she was totally focused on fleeing from our officers and aware of how she was driving. So the concern is the risk to the public. On top of that, Ms. Hall had torn up the search warrant during the blood draw. She's not been compliant with the process. She's not been remorseful or cooperative with officers in any shape, way, or form. And I think that there's a concern that Ms. Hall made. I believe that she will appear in court based on her history. However, there's concern that she may not abide by the court's orders due to her lack of respect for law enforcement and the process in which it took to get her to this point. I think a $25,000, 10% bond would be sufficient to protect the public, and I think a GPS tether would be sufficient to protect the public. I do think her going to work would help assist her as well.
Would what?
I think her going to work would assist her with continuing her lifestyle, since she does have 2 young kids and she needs to support them.
Okay. I'm sorry, did you say that she tore up the search warrant?
Yes, Your Honor. During the search warrant execution at the hospital, Ms. Hall wanted to see the search warrant. I presented her with it. She then proceeded to tear up the first page of the affidavit in a defiant attempt to destroy the search warrant. I believe it was in hopes that the search warrant would no longer be valid if we didn't have one, which was not correct. And the blood draw did continue. However, her defiant actions, I've never seen that before. It's first time for me, so.
All right, well, the court certainly does have some concerns, as Detective Lyle stated on the record. Was actually one of this court's concerns it was going to address, given the the crimes of violence that are on, or the charges of violence, I should state, that are on Ms. Hall's criminal history, and the nature of these charges and the allegations that have been put forth. The court has some concerns regarding the safety of the public based upon the nature of these charges. Therefore, the court's going to order a $20,000 10% bond with the following bond conditions. You are not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs that are not prescribed. If you were to test it, ma'am, what's in your system?
What's your system like? Controlled substances?
Just marijuana. Oh, and yeah, just marijuana. Everything else is prescribed.
What's everything else, ma'am?
I just take like ibuprofen. I'm supposed to start a new medication. I haven't started it, but it's called Buspirone. So, but I mean, other than that, it's just marijuana and things that are prescribed to me.
And does the doctor that prescribes your Buspirone know that you take marijuana?
Yes.
Is that prescribed marijuana or no?
Not prescribed marijuana, no.
Okay, so moving forward, you can't use marijuana unless it's prescribed
Okay.
from your treating physician, not a random doctor at a clinic that doesn't know your history, isn't familiar with your history. The court's going to also order you to not possess or have access to any firearms and or any weapons. Do you have any of those, ma'am?
No.
And where are your children right now?
I'm with my dad, I think. I don't know. With my dad or their dads.
Well, who were they with when you last saw them?
They were with their dads, but I'm guessing one of them is probably with my dad now. At least one is with my dad now.
All right, the court's going to also order you to, you have to be released without a GPS tether and an alcohol tether.
Is that through Wayne County Jail, Your Honor? Not to interrupt.
Yes. All right, and the court will also sign the felony court-appointed form once it's received. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're on the record in the matter of the city of Wyandotte versus Maria Choka. Oh, there
Good
it is.
afternoon, Judge. Attorney Corey Westmoreland, appearing on behalf of Ms. Soka.
You didn't get the benefit of mine. No, Choka.
I believe it's pronounced Soka.
It's Choka.
Okay, thank you. All right, your name, please, ma'am. Ma'am, your name for the record, please.
Looking to me?
Yes.
Oh, America Choka.
All right, thank you. And so counsel, as to the arraignment.
At this time, Judge, we are prepared to waive a formal reading. My client stands mute.
We'll read the formal reading, enter plea of not guilty for purposes of the arraignment, and we will schedule this matter for pre-trial on, well, we can do July 24th.
I just wanted to say a couple of things that I overlooked.
You're not going to speak about the case today.
The thing is,
Ma'am, please stop, okay? All right, so.
I was in 15 years in California, and so I just got turned around. I wasn't drunk.
Ms. Choka, stop talking for 5 minutes, please, okay? Unless you're answering a question, please stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
That's
We have the jury trial on the 24th, but we could do this right at 8:30, or we can throw it in on the 17th, which I think is a very full day.
Yeah. Your call. I'm fine with either one.
Or you call, I'm not looking at the docket.
Well, the 17th is very full.
Okay, so we'll,
Want to do it the 30th and then
the 24th.
the 24th, I mean, and then we just gotta talk to whatever attorney, make sure that we're here.
Well, it probably just- Okay, July 24th at 8:30 a.m.
The thing is, I'm a star, ma'am. I'm playing Catwoman in the next film. I can't, like, I need to go home today. You know, there are a number of things that I'm doing right now. And I'm just asking for,
And one of the things you're going to be doing is to stop talking, because I've asked you to stop talking and you're not following the court's directions right now. Which does not bode well for you if you want to be released from custody. I don't know that you're going to follow this court's orders. Counsel, ask to bond.
I will.
No, ma'am, not, it's your turn to talk right now. It's your attorney's turn to talk. Mr. Westmoreland, I think you might be muted, because I can't hear you.
You're correct. I was muted. She's self-employed as a speaker. She has no prior criminal history. She has no pending matters out of any other jurisdiction. She's not currently on probation or parole. And after speaking with her at length, she did assure me that she would be appearing in all future court dates. She does understand the importance of showing up and appearing. With that being said, Judge, I'd simply be requesting consideration for a personal bond on her behalf.
And ma'am, how long have you been in the state of Michigan?
Like a year, a little bit longer than a year. I'm here getting my father's inheritance. That's why I'm here from California. 2 years about, I'm here getting all the information together, but you know, my mind is still wired up in California. So I was just turned around, you know, yes. And so he requested a personal bond. I also, you know, as another option, I want to know if I can call my friend, because he would not allow, you know, I wasn't allowed to finish the call. Just, you know, that personal bond would be, you know, great, but it's another option. I wondered that because again, I am a star. I am starring in the next Catwoman film, and there's so much that I have to do. Yeah, she's listening. So there's just so much that I have to do. And, you know, I was not familiar with the territory as I should, you know, as I guess I would like to be. So, you know.
So ma'am, how long have you lived in Lincoln Park?
About 2 years or so.
And who do you live there with, ma'am?
My husband and I initially lived together, but we are separated right now. So I'm, it's just, you know, by myself, you know, it's my house.
Okay, and so you are currently shooting a movie?
I'm in the next Catwoman film.
When is that scheduled? When is that scheduled to film?
3 months where it should be filming, and there's just so much I have to do to gear up for that, classes that they're having me take, karate, things like that. You know, there's so much that I have to 4 months. There's so much that I have to, gear up to do to begin, production on that. Even if it were out to 4 to 5 months.
And so where are you supposed to be doing that filming at, ma'am?
California. A little bit will be here, but the training is here. It's in California. They know I'm here getting my father's inheritance together, so they're, they're working with me on, certain things. I did, secure the one house in there anyway. And then, and the house was star attacked. They tore down the drywall. They put chemicals all over the house, which has damaged my skin here. So I'm dealing with, you know, all of that.
Okay.
Yes, and
So here's what the court's going to do. You're claiming that you don't really live here. You're only here for your dad's inheritance. Based upon the lack of connection to the state of Michigan, based upon.
no, I live here.
Yeah.
I live here. I grew up in Michigan.
How long have you lived in California?
15 years.
And so what happened in Lincoln Park in April, ma'am?
I live in Michigan, definitely live in Michigan.
Okay, well, you have charges from April 22nd in Lincoln Park. What happened?
What happened? I don't understand.
In April, it shows that there was a warrant requested for something that occurred in Lincoln Park for you.
April 22nd of this year?
Yes.
Well, I was in my apartment and I'm hiring an attorney to refute those charges. I was in my apartment and then, you know, the manager, the girlfriend of the fact is that, they locked my apartment and then I had to get in. And so I asked someone to open the lock there of the window so I can get into the apartment. It was really just such a simple thing.
Okay. Okay, here's what the court's going to do. The court wants to ensure Ms. Chopa is going to appear in court, wants to make sure she's going to comply with the court's conditions and that she's not going to be leaving the state before our next court date. The court's going to order a $5,000 10% bond. You're not to be released without an alcohol and GPS tethered to the Wayne County Jail.
I didn't hear you, the last part, after the phone.
You are going to have an alcohol and GPS tethered to the Wayne County Jail. You get a copy of your bond conditions and then we will see you back on July 24th.
So do I need the bond to get out of am I getting a personal bond?
You're not getting a personal bond. Also, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs that are not prescribed. Here we go.
You will have to clarify, you will have to post $500 cash to get it out of custody.
I'm sorry?
You will have to post $500 to get out of custody.
And can I call my friend then because the phone was hung up abruptly, not by me, by an officer. So I just want to make sure I can make the call here. Can I make the call here?
When we're done here, we got other things to do, so you're gonna have to.
So I'm asking that question,
I'm telling you.
I guess, to my attorney.
I don't have the authority to allow you to make a phone call.
So I didn't hear the judge.
Your question is directed to the police department. I don't have authority to tell the police department how many phone calls somebody can have or not have. I don't know. So, but they'll work with you, man.
Okay, so you said you're gonna give me a call then, officer? Okay. So you're
All right, come on. Let's
You
go.
have another case to do, so go back to your
Did you
cell.
bring
Yeah,
that
I
with
know
you?
what
Come on.
I know what you're.
Okay, and so now we're on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Michael Paul Torres, 24956. And detective, your name for the record, please.
Detective Chelsea Hanskin.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, thank you. You may proceed on the warrant.
On July 8th, 2024, Wyandotte Officer Saltzman and Stathakis were patrolling the area of Ford Ave and 4th Street in Wyandotte, Michigan, when they observed a blue Chevy Colorado disregard the red light at eastbound Ford Ave and 4th Street. As officers made a U-turn to initiate a traffic stop, the driver, later identified as Michael Torres, was sticking his foot out the window displaying his ankle monitor. Officer Saltzman indicated Torres appeared very anxious during the traffic stop. Torres was speaking quickly, breathing heavily, avoiding eye contact, and sweating. Torres stated he was a convicted felon for murder and was trying to get home before his ankle monitor went off. Torres was asked to step out of the vehicle and began pacing back and forth. A lien check showed the registration for the vehicle was expired since October 3rd, 2023, and the vehicle did not have valid insurance. A tow truck was requested. During an inventory search of the vehicle, Officer Stathakis located a gray pouch on the passenger seat of the vehicle. Inside of the pouch was a glass pipe often used to smoke methamphetamine and a white crystal substance which later field tested positive as methamphetamine. Torres was placed under arrest. During the additional search of the vehicle, an open bottle of Caliber vodka was located behind the passenger seat.
All right, thank you. Upon examination of opinion witness, I find the offenses charged were committed. There's probable cause to believe the defendant committed the offense. All right, and counsel, your appearance, please.
Attorney Corey Westmoreland, appearing on behalf of Mr. Torres. Is Mr. Torres present? There he is. Mr. Torres, would you please state your name for the record?
Michael Paul Torres.
Okay. Our network bandwidth is low. Whatever that's supposed to mean. All right, and counsel, as to the arraignment.
Yes, Judge, at this time we are prepared to waive a formal reading. My client stands mute.
Court will waive the formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty for purposes of the arraignment. So you have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you. And in fact, you've had an opportunity to speak to an attorney today, correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The court's entering a plea of not guilty on your behalf. And we're going to schedule this matter for a probable cause conference on July 18th.
10:15.
At 10:15 a.m. All right, and counsel, as to bond.
Yes, Your Honor, I would be requesting consideration to have Mr. Torres tethered to a inpatient rehab facility. He currently is out on bond out of the Third Circuit Court. I believe it is a pending drug case as well. He is currently residing in E-Course. He is gainfully employed. And after speaking with him at length this afternoon, he did assure me that he would be appearing at all future court dates. I don't believe he has any history of absconding from any honorable court, and he does understand the importance of making sure he does appear in a timely fashion. I would just ask that all be taken into account when assessing a bond.
Mr. Torres, you're currently on parole?
Not on parole, sir. I mean, ma'am.
I believe he's awaiting sentencing. Is it sentencing, Mr. Torres?
Well, my next court date's the 19th. They came in me with a plea deal. More likely, I'm going to take that plea deal. I was waiting to talk to my lawyer.
Hold on a moment, sir. You were sentenced to prison in 2003, were you not?
Yes.
17 to 30 years. So you,
I got out in 2019, ma'am.
2019, you were released. And you weren't placed on parole, you were just released as completing your sentence. What's that?
Completed my parole.
All right, and since that time, you have a matter from 2020 in Monroe County that was nolle pros, domestic violence. And then let's jump to 2024. And you've had a lot of police contact, sir. Out of the 21st District Court in Garden City, you were bound over for felony assault with a dangerous weapon and a felony weapon matter. And in May of 2024, out of the 28th District Court, you were bound over on a felony possession of controlled substance matter or delivery manufacture of methamphetamine, same type of matter you're charged with here.
And
And
you know what? I became an addict.
I'm not done.
And I apologize. All right,
I'm
I'm sorry.
not done. And so you were bound over to circuit court on that matter. And from March of 23, there was something in Inkster alleging an assault. I don't know if anything ever happened with that. And then now here we are in this manner. And, so you're out on bond, sir, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what matters are you out on bond for?
For the Garden City and for the South Gate.
And the 28th District Court is a possession charge, which is the exact same thing that you're charged with now. Is that correct?
Yes, and I need help. And I have asked my last lawyer this, that I do need help. I lost my job. It became hard to get a job and I became an addict. I'm not proud of it at all.
And so, sir, you're saying that you need help. Have you taken any steps on your own for treatment or for help?
Into it, and then they tell me that the same time I'm working is the same time it's going on. And then I'm restricted. I have to be at home at 6:30. And I'm sorry, it's hard when you're getting depressed on your own and you don't have nobody to talk to. I live alone.
And Detective Esteban?
Your Honor, I do have serious concerns. As you stated, he has offended, even though he is on tether, he has offended multiple times, similar to the situation here in Wyandotte. So I'm going to request a $25,000, 10% bond.
Given Mr. Torres's current charges, the fact that he's currently out on bond in two matters, one of which is the exact same offense that he's charged with in this matter, and he's also charged as a habitual offender fourth offense, the habitual offender fourth offense notice. The court wants to ensure Mr. Torres is going to appear in court and also for the safety of the public in this matter. The court's going to order a $25,000 10% bond. I'm going to also order, sir, that you can be tethered to treatment upon request. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. Anything else?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you.
It'll be alright.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is absolute. An interpreter.
I need an interpreter. I know you've done your part. It's not fair.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Green, we're gonna start bringing people in prison.
Don't give up.
Learn how to act in court.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it? Okay.
I have no patience for that. Trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.